Hi, Munchkins. So hopefully you've seen the announcement on the folder that I am not going to be there today. So just like you would in school, if someone's not there, you still expect to do the work. The only difference is that there's no sub because I can make videos and still have you guys do the work that way. So I'm going to walk you through everything that you guys are going to work on today and then have a couple of announcements for you guys in terms of when things are due and different due dates and things like that. So to start today, we are starting Unit 2, and Unit 2 really goes over different bones of the skeleton. So we're going to focus on the skull and the bones that make up the skull first. But before we get into identifying bones, we have to introduce you guys to some anatomical terminology. So the reason that we do this is because we need to be able to communicate about direction and location of these different bones. And so that's your work today, is to learn about these terms and then have an opportunity to practice these terms so that you can hopefully start to memorize them a little bit easier, because this course is a lot of vocabulary and it's just not rogue memorization because we're going to use this a lot. But it is important that you guys have some repetition with this vocabulary and have practice with it, both inside and outside of class. And so for today, the first thing I would like you guys to do is answer the attendance question, of course. So please make sure you guys do that before the end of the class period. Review the anatomical terms video. So page 15 in your guys' notebook looks like this. And so this is where you guys can take notes on all these different terms that you guys are going to see in that video. And then you guys are going to choose the type of activity that you would like to do for practice. So it's spud surgery no matter what, but there's two different ways that you can do it. So this will be due at the start of class on Tuesday, and you will need to pick one of these activities. Don't do both because then you're just repeating the same thing twice. But if you like hands-on and you have the materials that I told you about last week, like a potato, marker, toothpicks, tape, things like that, then you're going to do 5.1 hands-on spud surgery. If you like the virtual or you don't have those materials, combination of both, then you're going to do 5.1 virtual spud surgery. And it's linked here, and it's also a separate link on Schoology. Miss Liz is prepared for directions for how to do the virtual one because you guys will be identifying things on Google Slides. So you can watch her directions that she made for our anatomy students there. And so I'll show you guys kind of how it's set up. So here's your attendance question. There's the anatomical terms video that you guys are going to watch that goes along with these notes, that you can use that as a note catcher if you'd like. I'm not going to grade that. It's up to you. And then here's the two activities. So remember, you're only going to do one. Do not do both. So 5.1 hands-on spud if you have the materials, or the virtual one. Pick one, not both, please. And then there's the link to the video. If you need help, virtual spud surgery directions for remote students. After you guys work on that, sorry, I have a couple tabs open that I want to show you guys. Then you guys are going to complete the 5.2 week 5 reflection and feedback form. So please reflect on your progress over these 5 weeks and provide me feedback on how the course is going. You know, a lot of you are either doing really well, or I have a large group of students whose grades are not great right now. And I know that there are things that I can be doing differently as a teacher, but at the same point, I told you guys that this class requires a ton of studying. You need to spend a little bit every night studying because cramming is not going to work. You guys just need to make sure that you are using your time outside of class. And I can tell that some of us are not doing that when we're not doing the practice homeworks that we assign you guys. And so just please make sure to keep that in mind. You have to study for this class. Outside of class, if you're only doing the minimum in here, this is going to be a very difficult class. But if you spend 15 to 30 minutes every single night studying the material that we're working on for that week and that day, you are going to see a tremendous change and your progress on tests and quizzes and things like that. The other thing, form study groups. I know we're virtual, but there's no reason that if you don't know someone in the class that you guys can't do a Google Meet or a FaceTime and study together. Whenever I had the most difficult classes in college, I would study with kids. And so I'm just looking for you guys to reflect on how are you doing? What can you be doing better? and then to give me feedback on things that I can adjust in the course to make you guys more successful. After you guys do that, then you can start your homework, the body plane note cards. So these are in the back of the notebook. So when you scroll to the back, you'll feel a change in the material because all of our note cards are on the cardstock. They're not numbered, but you guys are going to be working on this page. I also included a picture of it here. And so for the body plane note cards, which is the first column, you guys are going to identify the sagittal, frontal, and transverse plane. What I do is I color the thing on the front of the card and then I describe it on the back so that I can quiz myself on being able to identify these different things. And then the directional term note cards, the next two columns, you are going to have a pair on them. So again, color, some way identify these terms and then describe them on the back. So you have posterior and anterior on one, superior and inferior on the other, medial and lateral, superficial, deep, proximal, distal, palmar, and plantar. So make sure that you're going to have those sets of terms on one note card because there's just not enough note cards and they really go together, right? Like posterior is going to be the front, anterior is going to be the front, posterior is going to be the back. Superior is on the surface, inferior is deep inside. And so that's why we have them paired like that for you guys. So that's your guys' homework. This is going to be due. I forgot to type it, so I'm going to type it right now. I'm going to check these off due at the start of class Tuesday. And you can hear my dog whining. I'm sorry. And so then, so the other things I wanted to show you guys is kind of what the SPUD thing looks like. And then I also made a work checklist that's going to be on Schoology once I post it. And so this is the hands-on directions. And so you guys are going to be you're going to be doing this to a potato, all of these different scenarios, and identifying the different parts and then taking a picture of your final SPUD after you guys have made the cuts. If you do the virtual one, it is a slideshow. And so you're identifying and looking at the same, and having to do the same cuts, but instead of doing it on an actual potato, you're going to do it here in the slides. And so Miss Liz does a really good job of explaining how these slides work. So check out, she made that for all of our anatomy students. So check out her direction video that's attached. And then the other thing for you guys is I know we've had a lot of work that I've assigned. And so I just want to clarify due dates for you guys. So Unit 1, any missing late work. All right, so any work that you guys are missing from this Unit 1, so anything that's currently in the gradebook, if you are missing it, then you need to turn it in by Friday night at midnight. So remember, for me to know to grade it, you guys need to fill out the Google form in our class resources folder on Schoology. The other thing that is due Friday are the epithelial quiz corrections. So it's a Google Doc found on our main materials page. So I'll just show you guys real quick. So if we click back over to our main page, it's thinking. Here's your Canoptic jar case study. There's your epithelial quiz corrections and your your connective tissue one. And so I'm going to move your Canoptic jar case study. And it's going to be due Tuesday at the start of class. It was originally supposed to be due Friday at midnight, but because I ended up having to take the day off and that I'm not doing a live meeting, I wanted to give you guys more time to email me to ask me questions. So I pushed the due date back on your Canoptic jar case study, which is also on the main material page. Then your SPUD surgery is also due at the start of class, as well as your body planes note cards. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but we've had time to work on this. You're going to have the weekend to work on it. All of class today plus Monday night. So I know it seems like a lot, but you guys should be okay, especially since this is a due date pushback. And then the last thing is the connective tissue corrections are due Wednesday at midnight for you guys. Because remember, I give you a week to do quiz corrections. So let me know if you guys have questions on any of this material, due dates, things like that. Even though I'm not able to do a live virtual meeting with you guys today, I am still available by email throughout the whole day. I'll be able to answer emails very quickly. So please let me know whatever you guys need. I think that's one of my biggest things is that communication is key to make this successful. And if you guys need things or are confused on things, please do not hesitate to ask me. I will not take offense if you guys are confused on something. It just helps me make sure that I'm explaining things in the right way. So again, let me know if you guys need anything. Send me an email, send me a message on Schoology. I'll see both on my phone and my computer throughout the day. So just please communicate with me and let me know what you guys need. All right. Have a good weekend. I will see you guys on Tuesday.